stung in the face. It still has the hammer and sickle on it. That is the Baltic Sea. That is Russia. Standing here at the edge of NATO. We are in Tallinn, Estonia, here in the old town. There goes the bus. We've got off on the side of a highway here because I want to show you something. So behind me is the Gulf of Finland, part of the Baltic Sea. Out there in the distance you can see a ship coming from probably Helsinki, which I came from today. And here we have an old Soviet war memorial. And it's all just crumbling away. This memorial was built first in the 1960s and parts were added to it in subsequent decades to honor those soldiers who died in the so-called Great Patriotic War. Estonia suffered greatly during the Second World War. It was annexed to the Soviet Union in 1940 under the provisions of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Not long later, 1941, Operation Barbarossa, the Germans came and invaded the Soviet Union, including Estonia, and Estonia became under Nazi occupation until the Soviets managed to push back the Nazis into Germany and once again came to occupy the lands of Estonia until 1990-ish, when the republics of the Soviet Union, led by the Baltics, gained their independence again. The Estonians suffered greatly under the Soviet system, and they don't have very fond views of this period of their history. So they've left these big memorial complexes built by the Soviets to decay and fall into neglect. At the same time, the Estonian government has worked to expand some parts of the memorial. Here, this huge grey metal structure is commemorating those Estonian lives lost in the Gulag system. Each pillar here represents a location where significant numbers of Estonians were persecuted. This one is for Moscow, Novosibirsk, Omsk, owing to the succession of Soviet, followed by Nazi, followed by Soviet occupation of Estonia, the government has built a memorial here for Nazi Germany, which is something you don't typically see in Europe. Here it's written in Estonian and German. Here we have memorials for the German Navy, Kriegsmarine, Flaggruppe Ostland, Luftflotte, infantry divisions, Luftwaffe divisions, Army Corps. It shows just how strongly they feel about the Soviet occupation, that they aren't afraid to commemorate those who fought against it. Just shows you how memorials are used to shape national memory. And here we have the sign explaining the memorial. Rather euphemistically, it mentions the army units involved in the defensive battles of Estonia in 1944. no names are mentioned, and notably not translated into Russian. And that's quite unusual given that everything else in this complex is. Don't mind the noisy tractor, but I've come here to show you something here at the edge of the old town here, and it's a memorial to Boris Yeltsin, honouring his role in the restoration of Estonia's independence. Has to be one of the only memorials to Boris Yeltsin in the world, I would say. Not a popular figure in Russia nowadays, and probably wasn't that popular towards the second half of his tenure. Estonia, along with Latvia and Lithuania, were one of the first, or the first states to declare independence from the Soviet Union, and Boris Yeltsin's role in establishing the Russian Federation and recognizing Estonian independence is memorialized on that wall here. Not many old reminders of the past, the Soviet era, here in Thailand, but there is one big Soviet concrete monolith that we're going to check out down by the shores of the Baltic. Here, check out these old steps. They sort of don't really lead to anywhere. Oh. Just on the edge of the old town here. I don't think these are Soviet, I think these are part of the old city walls. Just past the scooters here. Check out that tram. Look how retro it is. Look at that tram. Wow. All the Tallinn people going on their way. Oh. We've made it. Wow. Check it out. This huge concrete monolith. Built in the late 1970s. Wow, check it out. Oh. Wow, like a contrast here. Giant concrete monolith. The colourful new apartments of Tallinn. And big glass structures over here. The new city centre, you can see the economic development going on, and you can see the old church tower there. That's in the old town, and we've got the big chimney stack in the foreground. Wow, and over there you can see a cruise ship, and that will be taking passengers to and from cities like Helsinki and Stockholm, Riga perhaps. And you look out here, we have the Baltic Sea. It's a bit rougher out there than it was yesterday. This big structure was built for the 1980 Moscow Olympics. Moscow famously not on the coast, and since all Olympic Games require a sailing event, it was held here in Tallinn. This big concrete structure was used to host the event. You can imagine the boats out there. Today would have been a very, very good day for sailing. Left to just rot here at the port of Tallinn. The government hasn't really done much with it. It's just so enormous. Wow, look at this building. Check it out. Wow. Let's get out of this weather. It's so exposed on the top there, just the wind straight from the seafront. Right, well unfortunately that's pretty much all I'm gonna show you on this grim day here in Tallinn. I am getting absolutely drenched.
We don't like things in our water. Mum orders this.
What is that? Oh. Wow. We've just stopped in this town and it's the most Soviet looking town. I'll put the name here. Wow, look at those buildings. You can see the neoclassical architecture. It's just all left to ruin. Look at the detail in that building. Wow. Check out this Soviet monument here. Try not to slip in the snow. My goodness. We would have had eternal flames here in the center. Not working now. But here we have some kind of monument to the workers. The two Soviet workers in the middle holding picks by the looks of it. Maybe it was a mining town here. Wow. Check out this place. It's just, look at the detail up the top. The fruit bowls, all the paintwork is just sort of left to decay. Must have been a mining town or something like that. Often they got special provisions from Moscow, much better off than other towns in the Soviet Union. Wow. It's still snowing, but I found the Dom Kulturi here in the town, and it still has the hammer and sickle on it. You don't see that here in Estonia very often. Built in 1952. Wow, not long after Estonia was incorporated into the USSR. Let's see if we can go look inside. I saw your beautiful building.
Yeah.
I want to see inside, it's okay?
This way, please.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Alright, see if you can give us a tour of this place. Let's see if my parents will come out in the snow. Can't believe I got you out of the car. Amazing. It's original, huh? No?
Yes, yes. Renovation was 5 years ago.
Uh-huh. Wow, the ceiling chandeliers.
It's original.
Original, yeah. Wow. It's beautiful, yeah. You work here? Yes.
My English is very bad.
It's okay.
It's good.
Nastya, what about your English? Go with me.
Often here is exhibition.
Ah, okay, okay.
But nowadays is
Good luck for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Stretched her English.
Wow.
I don't speak very often in English.
No, you do well.
No, you do really well. Really well.
Also, when is some performances here, a cafe is working.
Ah, yes.
But now it is closed.
So you're from this town?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like it?
Sometimes yes.
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes yes. Yes.
The weather
In
is.
the Soviet Union, lived about 80,000 people.
Wow. Yeah.
But nowadays it is about 40,000.
Wow, half. Yeah.
Yes. Oh. That's a shame.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Wow. Oh. Lovely sunny day. Welcome to the town of Sillamäe, here in Estonia. I'm being stung in the face with ice. Brutal conditions. Sillamäe was a Soviet mining town. There were uranium in the hills around the town, and it was a processing plant. It had a processing plant here to enrich the uranium that they mined, and because of its military and civilian significance, it was a closed town, so not many people could come and visit Sillamäe. There was permits that were required at the checkpoints outside the town. Not many people could visit it during the Soviet times. And nowadays it's it's a bit quieter. The population's dropped significantly as there's no more operations going on. Life was subsidized in Soviet towns from Moscow. Often they had better provisions in the shops than in typical towns. Here we have a monument of a man holding the atom, which symbolizes the town's history. Wow. I don't know if you can hear me in these brutal conditions. Oh. But that is the Baltic Sea, just down those steps. You can see the buildings have sort of fallen into disrepair. When the Soviet Union collapsed, many of these small towns, they lost their subsidies, they lost their source of income for the most part, and they were left to their own devices. Now, there's no real incentive for young people to stay here or for anyone to move here. Здравствуйте. Хорошая погода, да? Built in 1955. All of this town would have been built around the same time as the industry was constructed. Alright then, let's get out of here before my fingers fall off. We made it to Narva. 209. Let's see what we got. Very nice. And view of car park. Wow. We have made it to Narva, here in the very far east of Estonia. I'm here on the banks of the Narva River, here in Narva, in the far east of Estonia. Over here you can see the Danish fort built in the 13th century. And just across the river there is the fortress of Ivangorod. That is Russia, that is the Russian Federation. Right here is where the edge of the European Union meets Russia, where worlds collide. That border bridge just over there, I don't know if you can see it, is probably one of the most militarized borders in the world at this moment. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can make it out, the concrete dragon's teeth on the bridge that the Estonians have put there. Only foot traffic is allowed at this moment, no vehicular traffic over the bridge. But yeah, you can see the Estonian flag on one side and the Russian flag on the other. This is the edge of Europe. I don't know if you can see that now, the dragon's teeth on the bridge there, and the people walking back and forth. People of Narva and the people of Ivangorod. Across that bridge live Russians in Ivangorod, and even here in Narva, 95% of people living in Narva here in Estonia are Russian speakers. Many of them hold Russian passports. Many of them are stateless as well. All the Narvans coming back to the city from Russia, or maybe the people from Ivangorod coming to Estonia, crossing paths on the bridge right there. So that's it, really. We're standing here at the edge of NATO, the edge of the European Union. You can see the three flags on this side of the bridge and the Russian one across on the other side. Until next time.